welcome to Ric's Corner. Rich Pion is back. We're going to talk about some new products he has coming out and how they work and how other things have built his body. And we want to talk about something we talked about last time. We didn't really get the full view of it, of how supplements compare to real food. Because it's really important to talk about that. And we got my little guy here that I've had for 35 years, and he's never lost any muscle. He just sits there and stays pumped all the time. What do you think it is, Rich?
Looks awesome, man.
I know.
We need to know the secret.
I want to know that secret as well. You had said last time about Australia being a big audience for Ric's Corner.
Yeah, it was crazy. When I went to Australia, everyone that knew me related to you. Where's Rick? Is Rick here? Is Rick here? No, Rick's not here. We don't travel together.
Maybe we should. You think if I took a vacation there, I could have fun?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, everyone was bringing you up. I'm like, hey, fuck Rick, what about me?
No. That's a long ass plane flight.
Oh, wow, yeah, it was. I mean, I luckily slept.
Yeah.
I luckily slept. I stayed up all night and got to sleep on the plane, so it wasn't that bad. But yeah, the plane flight. Whew.
Only way I can do this is if I'm able to fly a little bit. Let them in the cockpit. Let me have the handle. I won't get anxiety.
I'm sure they'd give you the wheel.
I think they probably would. We had talked before in several of the episodes about. You said there's nothing like real food, that supplements don't get it, yet you're coming out with a supplement. So I think what you meant, if I'm right, that you should have real food whenever you can. But when you don't, in between and at night or bedtime, the supplement's the way to go.
Yeah, I've been throwing this out there a lot. It's basically I've been trying to stress to people. I don't want people to think that protein powders or weight gainers are better than food.
Okay.
That's the big thing, is that I think the way it's marketed nowadays and for the last 40 years is young kids always think that protein powder is superior. They always ask me, hey, what kind of protein powder do you use?
Yeah.
They never ask, what do you eat? Ever. It's always, what kind of protein powder? What kind of protein powder? And I just want to set the record straight to everyone that food will always be more important than supplements. Yeah. Always. Supplements are a supplement to food. That's what it is. It's a supplement. So in addition to food, you add the supplements in, but you should never replace food with supplements. That's just my personal
opinion.
Basically,
you're right. It's a food supplement, not a replacement.
Exactly. Now, people claim, I don't have time to eat this many meals a day. I'm too busy. I work. I can't eat at work, so I bring a protein shake because I can drink the shake while I'm at work. And so obviously there's some times when, maybe you have to have a protein shake. But if there's a way that you could just eat food 6-7 times a day and not even drink protein shakes, that's going to be the better choice.
Okay. What about bedtime? I don't like to go to bed with a full stomach, so I have my protein drink then, and I take fiber with it. Mm-hmm. I take the casein because it's long-lasting. That's the good time to take it.
Yeah, definitely. The long-acting protein is going to fuel your body.
I'm going to throw these questions at you, but I know you know. After a workout, I always feel, for me, and I'm sure you do too, you got to put something back.
Oh, definitely.
So I have my protein drink at that time. Mm-hmm. I add a little bit of carbs with it.
Okay.
Because I think maybe that helps raise the glycogen level and push it back. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Definitely.
Pre-workout.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of guys that come to the gym who don't eat, and they don't eat after, and they don't eat all day till later in the day, and they always look the same. Mm-hmm. They're not doing anything about nutrition. I always felt, and I know you do the same, I get up in the morning, I want to eat. I want my egg whites and I want my oatmeal, or I eat my whole eggs even sometimes, and I want my oatmeal, maybe a piece of raisin toast. And then I go to the gym, take a pre-workout to go to the gym and train. Then I feel like I really want to go.
Yeah. If you don't eat anything, you're on an empty stomach, you're depleted, you're flat, you've been fasting all night, you're going to be weak, you're going to be tired.
Yeah.
And the pre-workouts, they're going to give you energy, but it's false energy. It's in your head, and you have energy, but the strength isn't going to be there. It doesn't give you strength, And
the food does.
The food does. So it's definitely, you should eat, I believe, before you work out first thing in the morning. That's
and
one
the
of the
other
most
thing,
important
you wouldn't
times.
go start your car in the morning without gas in it.
Exactly. That's probably one of the most crucial meals is first thing in the morning, because you've been sleeping for 6 to 8 hours. Your body's been fasting. Your body rebuilds when you sleep. That's when your body rebuilds. So your body hasn't had any nutrients. So that's like a crucial time, is first thing in the morning. Like not an hour after you wake up, not 2 hours after you wake up, like first thing in the morning.
Okay, that's another thing that and it's never been discussed, and we've known this for years. When you work out, you're not building up your body, you're tearing your body down.
Exactly.
Just because you're getting a pump in your bicep or whatever, you're putting blood in, but that's not necessarily building it up. It's tearing it down, all those fibers that have to go to bed at night, and all these little men in your body are all running with little hammers and chisels, building your body back up as you sleep. Yep. They're building all those building blocks, and that's when rest comes in.
Yep.
And you know yourself, we are all guilty of this. We're so addicted to what we do. When we take a day off, we look in the mirror and say, oh my God, we're losing everything.
Yeah.
I took Sunday off, I gained 3 pounds.
Yeah.
And good pounds.
Yeah, that's when the body rebuilds. Sometimes taking a week off from the gym, your body will actually build more tissue because it needs that time to recover completely, completely rebuild the damaged tissue. Now, what happens is when you're not getting a pump, your veins, you don't have that pump in your muscle, and the blood there isn't in the muscle, so the muscle doesn't appear as full and round and big.
Right.
But the muscle tissue is still there. You don't lose muscle tissue, in a day or two.
I went to Hawaii once for a week. I wrestled. I had a vacation. I wrestled over there, and I came home. Didn't train for a whole week. Had a match that night. Came back really tan. Everybody says, "What'd you do? You look like you gained 10 pounds of muscle."
Yeah.
I took the week off.
Yeah,
exactly. And I ate, and I came back bigger.
Yeah. A lot of people, they have it in their head that the gym is where they grow. And it's when you're laying around the house, sleeping and doing nothing, that's when your body's recovering.
And that's when you need your food.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about the supplement you got.
Supplement I got. Okay, basically my theory is you should feed the body, 24 hours a day. So we've been, on this thing of feeding the body every 3 hours. And like I was saying, first thing in the morning, when I would get up in the morning, for example, if I'm going to have egg whites and oatmeal, it's going to take me probably 30 to 45 minutes before I actually sit down and eat that meal.
Right.
Might use the restroom, might check my phone, go in the kitchen, start cooking, whatever.
It takes 20
play
minutes
with the dog a little bit.
Walk down the hallway. It takes time.
So, basically, I have a theory that, BCAAs and I have liver support, immune system support, digestive enzymes, just a whole mix of incredible things in this drink that you drink all day long. So first thing in the morning when I wake up, boom, take a couple gulps. So I already have all the BCAAs,
Is that what you have in the bottle over there?
That's what I have in that bottle over there.
That's red. That's red.
That's what I have in that bottle. And, and then I cook my egg whites and oatmeal and eat my first meal, and then make my pre-workout drink, throw some of that drink in there. And on the way to the gym, I drink it while I work out, continuing to feed the body while I train.
It's like an IV drip.
Yeah, just all day long.
Basically, it's going in all day, feeding. There's no gap period.
Exactly. And, the thing is protein powders, you can't do that because it bloats the stomach and it makes the stomach feel full, and you can't really train after you drink a protein shake. At least that's what I noticed.
This is part of your product right over there that I look at.
Yep.
And it's basically clear. I mean, it's colored, but it's like a water.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I love it. I've been doing it, for about 3 months now, and it's amazing. And another thing is, to be straight up with everyone, I have been eating, 80 grams of protein 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times a day for 20 some odd years. So, that's hard on the kidney, it's hard on the system, all that protein, all that meat to break down. So, as I'm getting older, I realize I can't be eating as much meat as I used to. It's more about egg whites and fish and turkey, is the better way as far as, longevity and health and so forth.
Right.
So, adding this drink in for me, I don't have to eat as much meat, when I sit down and eat, because I have the protein in my body all day long.
I'm not even too sure about the meat nowadays I've been eating. It doesn't even taste good to me anymore.
No, it's not.
It's really not.
Awful. Trader Joe's my favorite place to shop, and I go in there now, and the meat is, it's just not like it used to be.
It's not.
Everywhere.
I did fish for a solid year, and I was like 45 in really good shape at that time. Every day, dinner and lunch was fish, and I got in my best shape on fish.
Yeah.
I ate a lot of it, but I got in my best shape with it.
Fish and egg whites, is amazing. I say those are the two best foods. Obviously, the two nastiest foods as far as a juicy steak or a nice chicken breast.
I got one for you guys. I got one for you. When I first moved here, I was training at Bill Pearl's gym before I went to Gold's, and there was a little health food store down in Manhattan Beach, and I walked in and they had dehydrated fish powder. It was a fish that had been dehydrated, turned into powder. Smelled rancid. But I thought, wow, bet that'll work.
Yeah.
So I mixed it with water and chugged it down. I was vomiting. I got diarrhea, and for 3 days I was sick to my stomach. No way. That was raw fish, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
So, but remember those days, bodybuilders even today will eat anything if they think they're going to gain muscle.
Yeah, I knew guys that used to put tuna in a blender with water and drink.
Oh yeah.
And I tried it, and I was willing to do anything, and that was something I couldn't do.
I got Jim Morris.
I could not do it.
Jim Morris, of course. Jim Morris used to take whole raw liver and put it in a blender and drink it.
God.
No, I don't know how he did it. Every day, raw liver in a blender.
It's funny how, remember liver pills?
Sure.
Those were the biggest thing back then. Vince Granada, boy.
We called them farter starters.
Those are the biggest things. That was a mandatory thing you had to do, and now it is unheard of.
Unheard of. Well, Hoffman came out with the first protein back in the 50s, I believe, and the health food store had it. Hoffman's High Protein, and it was spelled Protein, T-E-N. So it wasn't even a real protein.
Yeah.
He didn't even label it as a protein. God knows what it was. It
Wow.
was rancid. So your product will be out when?
It's going to be out in a couple days. I also have a pre-workout, which is incredible. It's all about the pump. A lot of the pre-workouts, it's all about energy, and it's, they put so much crap in there that, yeah, your heart's pumping, and but you don't get a pump. You have no pump in the gym, and your heart rate's so high, you have to take breaks between. You have to take longer rest between.
Makes you talk a lot too.
Oh yeah, and you're jabbing your mouth, and yeah, so mine was just designed all about the pump, because that's what I go to the gym for, is to have the most incredible pump I can. Of course.
Are there days you don't get the pump?
I have good days and bad days,
and this is one of them.
Yeah, and obviously, it just depends on my nutrition and my salt intake, my water
and
intake.
Your rest.
Yeah, my rest, what I ate the night before. If I had a nice Domino's pizza, I'm gonna have a great pump the next morning.
Do you remember the days when you first started training? You'd go in the gym, you'd pump your arms, and they would be pumps. You couldn't even bend them at this drive home.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get that anymore.
Yeah,
every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I have to document what it is I did prior to that. I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I have to sit I used to sit at the bench, on that bench there at Gold's.
Yeah.
Just sit there and just have to sit there for like 10 minutes before I could move, because
I
was just in pain.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those pumps, I don't know if that's just our youth or what. Because I get good pumps, but I remember not like I did in my 20s, boy.
One more thing, let's talk about. You said you and Chanel are going to start your own channel.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes, a new YouTube channel, and it's going to be called Sex Talk. And basically the way I see it is, you have other people doing this type of thing, but I think getting it from our perspective, I think people will be quite interested in what we have to say.
Yeah, I'd like to come on as a guest, because I have become, in the past few years, I've become a vaginitarian. And I think I know a lot about the subject.
Yes.
There are a lot of openings in that field, so I kind of fell into that and decided to go along with it.
Yes, so it's it's basically just the talk that you see in a Cosmopolitan magazine.
I think that's good.
The curious subjects that people like to talk about, and I have my certain views and my certain whatever, and I have to say that I'm in a whole different planet than most people in this world when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I have some interesting theories and thoughts and so forth that I think will kind of bring light to a lot of people.
That'll be nice. Where are you going to find this channel? What will be under on YouTube?
It's going to be Sex Talk with Rich, Piana, and Chanel, and it's probably we have already filmed approximately 12 videos, and we're just, we're filming, every video's at a beach, we're filming at the beach, so we're traveling all over Southern California at different beaches, so Santa Monica, Newport, just all the nice beaches, so people that don't live in LA can actually see all the wonderful beaches.
That's a wonderful idea.
Nice little background, so we were just at Santa Monica, we were at Venice Beach, so we were under the pier, we were, in front of the pier.
That's great.
Got some great shots, so it's fun.
In closing.
Yes.
In our closing statements today,
yes,
Your Honor, is there anything that you would like to advise the people out there that watch us? They all want to know how to get big and ripped. I mean, there's the key. What would you say is the basic key to growing and looking good?
The basic key is,
let's say, without drugs.
Without drugs, okay. Yeah, definitely. It's got to be food. And the most common question I get is, Rich, how much do you eat? How much do I have to eat? I say 6 times a day.
Yeah.
You know what they say? I can't eat 6 times a day. So right there, they've already told me. They've already told themselves that they can't do it. They're not going to do it. It's impossible. They've already just
put the roadblock up.
Yeah, there's no hope for them. And I say, if you're not willing to do that, you're not going to get where you want to be.
Well, the 6 times a day doesn't mean you have to sit down on a full course meal.
No, that's I sit and I try to explain it, and it's basically a waste of my time to sit and explain it, because everything I say, they come back with, "Oh, I can't do it." Well, can I do protein shakes instead? And I'm like, look, if I sit down with someone and they say, "Hey, Rich, how do I get bigger?" and I say, "How many times do you eat?" "I eat 3 times a day." You need to eat 6. You need to bump it up to 4, and then 5, and then 6. And if that person says, "Okay, I can do that,"
yeah,
then I'm like, okay, we got someone who
That's right.
who's positive and
and eating the right stuff.
Yeah, and he's willing to do what it takes. A lot of people just aren't willing to do what it takes, and they say, I can't. How many hours are you at the gym, Rich? 2 to 3. Oh, I can't work out. Oh, you can't. What do you mean you can't? Can't shouldn't even be vocabulary.
Yeah.
No, but food is number one. I mean, when you have a fast metabolism, especially, you have to eat a lot to put on
and if they put a good hour in the gym, a good hour without bullshitting around and training, that's good.
Oh yeah, that's good. I mean, you don't have to put that much time in. It's just something that I enjoy, and it's hard for me to leave. And once I get in a good workout and a good pump going, I just want to keep going.
Well, it is a time factor for some people because they work 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, and they got to fit either before or after. The gym gets crowded. You can't move around. So if you get a good 45 minutes to an hour in, and say you do 2 body parts, and you really blast those 2 body parts, you're good for the night. Come back the next day, hit the other 2. You can always find a way to do it. And before you know it, you're hitting it twice a week anyway.
And eat.
Yeah, and eat. And you make sure you get your sleep.
Yeah, try to eat every 3 hours. That's the most important factor, is being consistent on your eating, consistent on your protein, carbs, and your body's going to grow.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for being here. We're going to look forward to that new product.
Oh, yes.
That's going to be fun.
Yes.
And what's it called?
One day, All Day You May
yes.
is one of them. The other one's Kill It is the pre-workout.
Okay.
Obviously, I've been working on these products for a while.
Yeah.
Because those are words of mine that have been out for years.
Yes, they are. And so we can find you on Facebook. Are you on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That's
just
everywhere.
Best way to find Rich is Google Rich Beyond.
There you go.
And if you have any questions and you can't reach him, you can reach him through me at Rick's Corner. I will relay the message to Rich, and then we'll get back to you with an answer. So thank you for watching Rick's Corner. We'll have Rich back many times in the future as long as we can keep going. And stay tuned for more. Stay tuned for news and weather next, and traffic in your city. We'll get to you.
All right, guys.
It's RickDrasin.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.